What's up, peeps? We're back. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for our YouTube edition of the AEW Insider. In this episode, we cover WWE Wrestlemania Backlash, Impact Wrestling's Under Siege pay-per-view. We got some WWE news, some AEW news, some Dark Side of the Ring news, and some crazy random wrestling and sporting news. Remember, if you want to win that Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse ringside collectible exclusive action figure, you gotta stick around to the end of the show. Normally, we do kick it off with a little AEW news, but first, we did have a major loss in the wrestling world. ECW Madman, ECW Hardcore Legend, aka the realest nigga in the room, New Jack, passed away on Friday afternoon. He actually died of a heart attack. He has had a great and very tarnished career. I was always a fan though. Go on YouTube or our social medias and watch him, the Honky Tonk Man, and the Iron Sheik in a hotel room for a couple hours, getting drunk, smoking weed, smoking crack, and talking shit on mad wrestlers that you love. It's fucking epic. I'll tell a personal story real quick. Eons ago when I was a teenager, I lived in Scranton, Pennsylvania. ECW was in Philly. There's this big place in Scranton, Pennsylvania. It's called the Catholic Youth Center. WWE used to come, everybody. You got to meet the wrestlers in the back as they entered the building, blah, blah, blah. I brought with me a broken Nintendo. The flap, the little door in the front was broken. I was hoping New Jack would use it. I don't know how the hell I was hoping I would get it to him, throw it in the ring or whatever. But as security was letting us in, they were actually checking people for weapons and items like that. So I legit left it on the steps in line and just went in. The gangsters come out for their match later on. New Jack has his garbage can. He dumps it out in the ring. There's my fucking Nintendo with the missing door. He picks it up. He hit dude in the head with it. Me and my boys went fucking nuts. It was awesome. So, like I said, you gotta love or hate New Jack. There are a lot of people who hate him for the things he's done, but I was always a fan, and it is a major loss to the wrestling world. So, New Jack, I just want to say thank you, bro, and Godspeed, man. I hope you find happiness on the other side. Alright, now with that out of the way, peeps, let's get to some AEW news. AEW. AEW is hitting the road soon. They are doing it before WWE does. WWE was asked if they were concerned that AEW was hitting the road first and had live crowds first, and they said no. I hope AEW comes around our area again. If so, we're definitely going. We were at their third Dynamite show in Philly, and it was a blast. Chris Jericho returned this week on Dynamite. Yes, already. Yet, come to find out, he was legit injured while taking that bump off the top of the cage. Brian Alvarez reported, he got thrown off the cage. The guy's supposed to be dead, but he's back a week later. That being said, you see that big thing on Chris Jericho's arm? He fell off the cage, and I think he fractured his elbow. I forget the exact injury, but it's a legitimate elbow injury after falling from the cage. So he fell off the cage, he legitimately hurt himself, and we've had a week of everybody talking about how fake it looked. AEW star and one of my current favorites, Ricky Starks, was injured in the ring. He took a nasty bump on the back of his neck. As of right now, he should be okay, but we will have to wait and see how it goes for him. Best of luck, Sparks. This week on Dynamite, Miro decimated the TNT champion, Darby Allin, and he became the new AEW TNT champion. He had a warning for his fellow AEW competitors. Miro said, "Line them all up." Lance Archer saw the tweet and he replied, "No need to line them all up," saying, "I'm here and I'm ready to take you on." Also on Dynamite, Orange Cassidy took a hell of a kick from Pac right in the face, and he was legit knocked out cold for a couple seconds in the middle of the ring. He did wake up and he finished the match, but it was crazy. Rumors are that he is okay though. Rumors are that AEW is in talks with ex-WWE star Andrade. Andrade does not have a 90-day no-compete clause, so he's free to do whatever he wants. Andrade made a challenge during AAA's Rey DiRiaz event to Kenny Omega. El Idolo wants to face the Cleaner for the AAA Mega Championship at Triplemania. He also made a challenge to Psycho Clown. It appears that Andrade has a lot of things in his pipeline after his WWE departure. AEW is reportedly talking to Andrade, According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the two sides are communicating, but there is no clear word at this time on where those discussions stand. Kenny Omega did respond to Andrade. He took his time, but he responded. Omega said, "I'm a busy guy. Give me some time to think about it." People who are involved and backstage are saying that match between Andrade and Omega will happen, and I'm super stoked to see those two face off. And in some disturbing news, Wade Keller of PW Torch noted on a recent podcast that he thinks certain members of the Elite are no longer on speaking terms. There's going to be a book written someday by some of the EVPs or someone else closely observing. We're going to learn what a very short honeymoon period there was between certain key people in the company. They aren't even talking to each other anymore. Keller is convinced that the situation is so volatile that it's only a matter of time before specific details are made public. He said, "I think we're going to find out. I know there are people in other wrestling companies saying that Bucks and Cody and Kenny, it's not going to be long at all before they want nothing to do with each other." On to WWE. Rumors are that Zelina Vega will be returning to WWE. She's at the Performance Center and doing in-ring work. They supposedly have big plans for her. It's a smart move if you ask me. I reported on AEW touring, yet as I said, WWE is preparing for fans to return to live events starting in July. It's great to see that the bigwigs are finally allowing people back to their live shows full time. Their return date for fans is July 16th, and it will be for an episode of SmackDown. There are rumors that Raw wants fresh faces on the show. They are very happy with the Damian Priest call-up, and rumors are that they want to move Aleister Black back over to Raw. They're trying to fill the gaps because some of their bigger names are in tag teams at the moment, such as AJ Styles and Randy Orton. Now, in his professional career, things are at a high for the original bro Matt Riddle, but in reality, he might be in a whole world of trouble. Matt Riddle's sexual accuser, Val, filed a lawsuit against Riddle, WWE, Evolve, and Gabe Sapolsky. The lawsuit was dropped for WWE, Evolve, and Sapolsky, but a judge did not clear the original bro. According to the PW Insider, a judge has ruled that Tavo and Riddle's lawsuit will continue. The two sides are ordered to submit their initial disclosures by May 21st. They will then begin discovery, the process where each side presents evidence in a case for potential trial. Discovery must be completed in this lawsuit by November 30th. At this time, the date has not been pushed up due to COVID, as so many other cases have been. Alright peeps, WWE does have a big pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. It is Wrestlemania Backlash, so here's the full card and my predictions. We do have Damian Priest versus The Miz in a lumberjack match. I'm going to have to go with Priest. I love me some Miz, but WWE, as I said, wants to give Priest a very big push, and he does deserve it. So I'm going to go with Priest. We also have the SmackDown Tag Team Championships up for grabs, which is Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, a.k.a. the Dirty Dogs, versus Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. Now, Dolph Ziggler and Sami Callihan are my favorite current wrestlers. At SummerSlam in Brooklyn years back, Bobby Roode was the hottest thing going for NXT. WWE has given him the belts, but as always has done nothing with them. I really think Dominic and his father will win, but I can't go against my dog, so I'm going with Dolph and Roode. We have the Raw Women's Championship, which is Rhea Ripley versus Asuka versus Charlotte Flair. The Queen should and probably win the belt by SummerSlam. If not, she will win it at SummerSlam. WWE has done nothing with Asuka. She was amazing on NXT and has been left by the main roster wayside since being called up. Ripley is still very green on the main roster, but I think she's going to retain. So I'm going with Ripley. We have the WWE Championship, which is Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre versus Braun Strowman. I hear they don't want Drew to lose and look weak again to Lashley. They don't want to take the belt off of Lashley just yet either. If you ask me, I have a feeling that Keith Lee might make his return during this match and help Lashley get the win some way or somehow. But I'm going with the almighty one, Bobby Lashley. We have the SmackDown Women's Championship up for grabs, which is Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Now, I love me some Bayley. Ever since her heel turn, she has been amazing. but she's not going to take that strap off of Belair yet. Sorry to say it, but it's true. So I got to go with Belair. And finally, for the pay-per-view, we do have the Universal Championship match, which is Roman Reigns versus Cesaro. So we all know that Jay and Jimmy are going to get involved somehow, and hopefully at the end of it, they're going to unite and take out Cesaro and help Roman win. It's amazing that Cesaro is finally getting his push, but it sucks it's up against the big dog. It's not going to happen, Cesaro. I'm sorry. They should have had you going for the Raw Championship. I'm going with Roman Reigns. On to Impact Wrestling. Impact Wrestling has a pay-per-view tonight. It's called Impact Under Siege. Here's my full card and predictions. We do have Susan and Kimberly versus Tenille Dashwood and Taylor Wilde. I'm going with Tenille and Taylor. Next up, we have Brian Myers versus Black Taurus. Now, Myers has been killing it since his Impact debut. Taurus is a fucking beast, though. But I gotta go with Myers. He's gonna win with his sneaky brain and his sneaky ways. We have Willie Mack versus W. Morrissey. I'm a huge Willie Mack mark, but this is Big Cass's first full match in Impact, and they are booking him into the monster that he should be booked as. So I gotta go with Morrissey, aka Big Cass. We also have the Impact Tag Team Championship #1 contenders match, which is TJP and Petey Williams versus Rohit Raju and Shira versus Triple XL versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. Now I gotta go with Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. And when the fuck is Impact gonna give Ace the Impact World title already? I mean, really. We have the Impact Wrestling X Division Championship match, which is Josh Alexander versus El Phantasmo. You gotta go with Josh Alexander. We have the Impact Wrestling Knockouts Tag Team Championship match, which is Jordan Grace and Rachel Ellering versus Fire and Flavor. I'm a huge Jordan Grace mark. I could care less about Fire and Ice. They hired Ellering and they have been booking her strong. So I gotta go with Jordan Grace and Ellering. We have the Impact Wrestling Knockout Championship up for grabs, which is Deonna Purrazzo versus Havoc. I love Havoc. I think she kicks ass. I would love for Havoc to win, but I just don't see it happening. So I gotta go with Deonna. We also have the Impact World Championship #1 contenders match, which is Matt Cardona versus Chris Bay versus Chris Sabin versus Sami Callihan versus Moose versus Trey Miguel. Now, Cardona, Chris Bay, and Sabin are amazing, but I don't think any of them are going to win it. Normally, I would go for Callahan. If you ask me, he should be the Impact World Champion 365 days a year. Then I would also say Trey Miguel. They've been trying to push Miguel since his fellow Rascal members left, and he has been stepping up, I must say. But Moose, that's right, Moose has been a fucking workhorse. How far that guy has come from what he used to be in Ring of Honor up until now, the dude is fucking awesome. He's a warrior and he needs a true world title. Plus his contract is up soon and WWE is knocking at his door. So Impact might give him the title to try to convince him to stay. So I'm going to go with Moose. We have Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers versus Eddie Edwards and Finjuice. I'm a huge fan of Finjuice. I've been following them the last couple of years in New Japan, and those two dudes kick ass. But I mean, please, they're taking on Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers, a.k.a. the Bullet Club, a.k.a. For Life. I gotta go with Omega and the Good Brothers. On to Dark Side of the Ring. This week's episode was fantastic. I thought it was going to be a David Arquette episode, but it turned out to be his deathmatch opponent, CZW deathmatch legend, Nick Gage. And holy fuck, that dude is nuts. And I'm talking in and out of the ring. He legit did an armed bank robbery and did 4.5 years, returned to the ring, got busted on probation for getting high, and had to go back to jail. I don't want to ruin it all for you, though. That's just a little sample, but holy fuck, peeps, what a great episode. It's a must-watch. Dark Side of the Ring also premiered their spin-off show, Dark Side of Football, this week. The reviews I've read have not been great so far. On to some random wrestling and sporting news. Now, Batista has been very lucky to get some great roles in Hollywood, but there are a couple that he really wants to check off his list. Gears of War is a video game franchise that he would really like to tackle on the big screen. Batista said, "I don't make any pretense about it. I had a chance to get a meeting at WB, and they were talking to me about this and that. And I said, hey, let's talk about Bane. That happened to me one other time in my career. They wanted to talk about Fast and the Furious, and I said I'm not interested. Let's talk about Marcus Phoenix. I want to do a Gears of War movie. Well, the Iconics are back. Well, sort of. Cassie and Jessica, aka the Iconics, have a new podcast coming. It's called Off Her Chops. The first episode is coming soon. And finally, we have been covering the whole Logan and Jake Paul debacle. Well, it looks like a current WWE star would like a piece of both of them for a price, of course. Recently, Baron Corbin was on the set of the Pat McAfee show. If you don't know, Baron Corbin himself is something like an ex-Golden Gloves boxer or some shit like that. And this is what the King had to say to the Logan brothers. Yo, Jake Paul, or his brother, if you want some, come get it. Corbin did say that after McAfee made a comment that now is the time to get back into boxing. Corbin knows how much money there is on the table. Baron Corbin's WWE contract might not allow for him to fight on Thriller. You also never know what kind of deal Vince McMahon might be able to arrange because money is his language. Corbin also added that he would be happy to break one of the brothers' faces for a nice payday. And he means it too. Alright peeps, that's it for this episode. Remember, if you want to win that sweet Bray Wyatt Firefly Funhouse ringside collectible action figure, all you gotta do is stay right here on YouTube. Make sure you're a subscriber to our channel. Besides that, pick any video, like, share, and comment. So go to the AEW Insider on YouTube, make sure you're a subscriber, pick any video including this one, like, share, and comment, and boom, when we hit 500 subs, I will be doing the giveaway for that awesome action figure. Remember to show us some love on all major social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube under the AEW Insider, and Twitter under the AEW Insider 1, as in the number 1. As always, I'm your host, Lee Benson. Thank you so much for joining us for the AEW Insider. Until next time, peeps. Ciao.